to ask, is there any reason to believe that PulseChain won't launch this year?
I personally am guessing no. I personally am guessing that Richard wants the glory of 11,500 Bitcoin. He wants the narrative to, I called the top, I called the bottom. Ethereum is 27 days after Bitcoin.
Don't talk about mid-May.
Hart's law is pairing, market, Saylor got wrecked. He wants that invitation to CNBC. he wants on Bloomberg himself. And I think that a lot of the outrage, like I think today even, someone in Twitter had reposted one of the television talking heads of Bloomberg, I think it's Bloomberg, guy that has 800,000 followers. And I think that their comment and tweet was, you should get Richard Hart when to be on interview. And the reply was, only if he brings his watches. So you have, celebrity, and they're talking, finance all the time. And they do see this Richard Hart guy, right? I know that tonight, if it's not happening right now, it might be right now. George Gammon, Robert Kiyosaki, Ken McElroy, right now, if they're not right now, it's in a few hours, are at Fit and Fresh here in Miami, and they're doing a podcast recording. Dollar cost average has been there several times. Charlie's been there. Hex has been talked about on the program. Robert Kiyosaki on Fit and Fresh in the past, like 6 or 8 months ago, had asked if Hex was better than Bitcoin. Right? Tomorrow, all day, I'm with George and Kiyosaki and Ken and all the other people on the panel of Rebel Capitalist Live, which is going on this weekend. That's why I'm here in Miami. So, Richard wants those invitations, but he wants to deserve them. He doesn't want to beg for them. He wants to deserve them. People need to ask him, right? And he wants that ego stroke. So I don't think that, me personally, I'm not betting that PulseChain launches before the trough of a bear. I think that the bear needs to get 12 grand, 13 grand before PulseChain launches, my opinion. My investment thesis is not to salivate over charts, and it's not to salivate other than, accumulation, in preparation for PulseChain when the bear is here, fully here, when it's all here.
Fully here. So do you anticipate this year that we will hit a bottom then?
There's a lot of stuff happening. There's a lot of stuff in the macro. There's a lot of content that, this event of Terra Luna is only a month old, and that had ripple effects that has de-pegged a lot of other stables. And Celsius has had a lock for 9 days or 10 days. And BitBoy is, asking people that have $1 million or more, in Celsius to join a class action. So, whether you say it has impact or it doesn't, those things still only are a few days old. They haven't played out very far. So I think that, me personally, is that crypto is still going to have some stumbling blocks, and those stumbling blocks are going to be enough of a fear narrative that it's not counter to inflation. It's not a risk off kind of store of value, in my opinion, whether it's Bitcoin or Ethereum, anybody outside of Hex. I stack Hex, but I don't think of it as a store of value until it has more mass myself. I think that Richard wants that call to glory. And I also think that the highest of stakes movie isn't coming until January. So my thought is sit and build skill set, sit and see if we can inspire new hexagons or old hexagons or whatever to talk outside of our own bubble, Like, you know, I'm going to be start my content in a few weeks when I come back to the States, is going to be all about business credit, all about like, you know, not investment thesis, but like, how can you launch a brand? How can you deliver a service or good to, you know, a population that is asking for it, you know, that has nothing to do with crypto. And I think that same outreach needs to happen, you know, older in Hex until PulseChain does launch.
Definitely. Wouldn't it be nice?
Look at you. You launched, and look at all your hosting skills that you're accruing, all these interpersonal skills, all these, you know, there needs to be more Hexicans that are like you, like Crypto Coffee and Crypto Sparbach and, you know, all the, you know, Crypto Cabana, people that obviously talk the product. I just want us to talk outside of our own audience.
Definitely good point. I think as I grow the channel too, I'm going to have more folks from different industries, from different you know, coins and otherwise, to try to get some cross collaboration, because there's so many opportunities. And I love my Hexicans, I love my PulseCans, I love everyone in the Rich Art ecosystem. I also think it's super beneficial to get some crosstalk going on too. Wouldn't it be nice if the documentary came out this year sometime? Everyone's seen it. There was some kind of, you know, ploy for PulseChain near the end. There was some mention there. Bear market kind of bottom. People were feeling max pain. They're feeling kind of like, okay, that maybe the macro turns around a little bit, or at least gives us a sigh of relief. And then PulseChain launch. Wouldn't that be spectacular? Is that the ideal setup, or do you see some other, you know, better case?
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of eyes on Bitcoin and Ethereum, and you know, the story that's, you know, if it leads, it leads in news. And right now, the bleeding thing is Ethereum and Bitcoin. Nobody's heard of Hex. Nobody on Bloomberg or MSNBC or something like that is talking about Hex. They're talking about Bitcoin. They're talking about Ethereum. They're talking about, you know, bleed it leads kind of clicks. And, you know, when that trough of slaughter is quelled a little bit, that's when you can build again. And that's what Richard talks about. These things have blow off tops. You know, this didn't happen as a dramatic blow off top like 2017 into 18. But, you know, it had a double top, or what you want to call it. And then it had a slow leak, you know, for a long time. These leveraged positions have to unravel. Most investors, many like long-term investors that make a lifestyle out of investing, they need companies to go to zero. That helps set bottoms. They need a Celsius to go to zero. They need more than just a Terra Luna that a lot of people outside of crypto hadn't heard of, but they have heard of Celsius because they've been engaging a lot of VC money and a lot of hedge fund money for a long time.
Do you expect more companies to bleed this summer? Do you expect more companies to bleed this summer? Is that what we need them for the bottom?
Three Arrows Capital right now is like relatively insolvent from what I had heard or seen, you know, in the public stuff that's out there. You know, maybe some of it's fear narrative or whatever, but they're hiring, you know, some of the best lawyers to go through bankruptcy proceedings. These things need to wash out of the marketplace.